Hey everybody, good morning. I hope you had a great weekend, and thanks for joining us. I'm First Alert meteorologist Chandler Jordan, and all eyes are going to be on a winter storm headed for the Carolinas later this week. Thankfully, we're waking up this morning dry. Got a whole lot of sunshine out there across the Midlands. However, we do have First Alert weather days that are going to be in effect for Wednesday and Thursday. Both of these First Alert weather days are related to the opportunity of a wintry mix in parts of the Midlands thanks to this next winter storm that is headed for the Carolinas. Now, as far as what we're expecting with our First Alert weather days, widespread cold rain is going to be a given for us on Wednesday. However, as more colder air wraps around this system and into South Carolina, there will be a period of time where we could get some transitional rain to more so become a wintry mix featuring some freezing rain or sleet. That's mainly going to be to the north of I-20, the northern Midlands and the Carolina state line. These are going to be places where we have the best opportunity to pick up on a wintry mix. And then once we get into Thursday morning, anything that is able to fall in the form of this wintry precipitation will eventually refreeze by Thursday morning. So there could be some icy slick spots farther to the north, depending upon where we get this transitional period of time to occur as our winter storm rolls through. So here's a look at our comparison of our two main long-range pieces of computer data we've been looking at as early as last week. And the GFS is the American MACE model, the European model, and both of these showing what would be for most of South Carolina a cold rain. And then the farther north you go, where more of this colder air wraps in, the opportunity for a transition to a brief wintry mix. Now, the European is more of the coldest resolutions that we've had with this storm setup so far, which would mean that a better opportunity the farther north you live for this transition into a wintry mix. And I would say the European model is one of the quote-unquote worst case scenarios, just in the sense of it supporting more cold air across the Carolinas. The American-based model, the GFS, still has cold air in place, but when you get farther to the north, it's a lot more of a fine line in but what would be a liquid cold rain and a freezing rain or wintry mix for our friends to the north. Again, your best chance at picking up anything that isn't liquid and falling in the form of a frozen precipitation, that's going to be north of I-20 in the northern Midlands and right along the Carolina state line. These are going to be areas where we're keeping an eye out for the best chance at any type of accumulation of ice. The two guarantees for next week, we can serve later this week, I should say, we can definitely guarantee you that you're going to have some very cold air in place. Cold rain as well, widespread all across the Midlands on Wednesday. So we are going to get cold rain, cold temperatures. It's just a matter of finding the detail as far as where this transitional line of rain to freezing rain will occur and what time it's going to happen. And as a friendly reminder, in our forecasting of a winter storm here in the Midlands, we are still in the type and timing stage of forecasting for this event, and that is where we're about 2 to 3 days out now is where we're at, and that's more so where we're still figuring out if we're going to get more of a cold rain or if more of us have an opportunity for this brief transition into a wintry mix. Also, the timing still set to fluctuate here and there by a couple of hours. Once we get into your Tuesday, and especially by this time on Wednesday, we're going to have more of the fine details for you as far as totals, location, timing, all that good stuff is going to be a lot more precise and concise as we get into your Tuesday. For today, we're still working out some of the logistics and details as far as the type of precipitation that we can expect with this event. So certainly we've got some potential wintry weather on the way, something we'll be watching closely here in the First Alert Weather Center. Although, if you're out and about today, beautiful for President's Day. A little bit on the cool side, however. Make sure you've got the layers ready to go. Around downtown Columbia this morning, we've got some colder temperatures in place. A lot of us had dropped into the 30s overnight, and we even had a little bit of a breeze from overnight as well hanging around this morning, which dropped our feels like temperature for a lot of us. At one point this morning, it felt as cold as the 20s because of some of the breezes that we had in place with this very cold air. hanging around parts of the Midlands. Now, once we get into the afternoon, your forecast high temperature is going to make a run at the low 50s. It's going to be cool out there later today, but I still think it's going to be nice, especially if you have your layers on and you're spending time in the direct sunlight. That'll feel pretty good for you out there as our highs today climb into the low and mid 50s. So be prepared for what's a little bit of a cool one out there this afternoon, but it's not going to be too bad for us, especially during the second half of the day. Your Tuesday's a whole lot better. Highs close to the 60-degree mark, and then we're closely watching your first alert forecast for Wednesday and into Thursday morning. Pretty much Thursday morning's first alert weather day will coincide with where we get some of this frozen precipitation and how much we get. Pretty much your Thursday morning first alert weather day is not related to moisture because we will be dry, but more so where the slick spots are able to occur depending upon where this transitional line of cold rain to freezing rain were to occur late Wednesday. The good news, though, is that by Friday and into the upcoming weekend, we're warming up. Highs back in the 50s Saturday and Sunday. By the end of the weekend, mornings finally back above freezing, and then next week looking pretty solid for us with temperatures back into the 60s and 70s. I know a whole lot of us ready for the spring, myself included, and it looks like we get some indications of that as we head into the last week of February. Now, when you get the chance this morning, go ahead and scan this QR code on your screen for me now, or head over to our app store or the app store and download our First Alert Weather app. This particular app is a better improvement upon the app that comes with your phone, and the reason why is that this is handcrafted data that the First Alert Weather team puts into the app, so you're getting the forecasts of myself, Peyton, Adam, Vaughn, we're all contributing to the forecast that you see on our First Alert Weather app. It has our interactive radar on it, or if you ever want a latest look at your hour-by-hour forecast or our First Alert 10-day forecast, you can always check that out on our app. Again, you can download that on your phone's app store by looking up the First Alert Weather app. Also, when you get a chance this morning, or if you just want your latest forecast update, you can always head over to our website, wistv.com. From there, we have our latest forecast. If you want to take a look at the First Alert forecast, if you have any things such as what's going to be, your latest forecast needs, if you want to check out our First Alert 10-day forecast, any and all of these things can be found over on our website. Again, that's going to be by checking out wistv.com. For the entire First Alert Weather team, I'm First Alert meteorologist Chandler Jordan. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe out there and stay warm these next couple of afternoons, and you're going to want to stay with us because we have what's new this morning that's coming up for you here in just a few minutes.